Welcome back to another exciting year of PARCC test administration. Let's go over everything you'll need to know to keep things running smoothly. If you've done this before, you'll be using the same site that you used last year, PearsonAccessNext.com. You will use the drop-down menu to select the correct PARCC destination. For this demonstration and for our infrastructure testing, we will use the PARCC training link. When we conduct the live testing in April and May, we will use the New Jersey link. Once again, the training portal is brown and is labeled Training Pearson Access Next. And the New Jersey portal is blue and says Pearson Access Next. Let's sign into the training portal and get started. We'll be clicking the green sign in button and entering the username and password that you received by email directly from Pearson. If you haven't signed in since last year, the first thing you'll need to do is make sure that you're in the correct test administration window. We'll be using 2016 Spring PARCC. Once you've done this once, it should remember it the next time you sign in. Next, we will select Students in Sessions from the Testing drop-down menu. You can find your session by entering the session name, which you can find on your student testing tickets. From the list, you'll need to click your session. In case it hasn't already been started, you can click the green Start button here. Typically, your sessions will already have been started for you by the technology coordinator. Until a session has been started, students will receive an error when they attempt to sign in. One big change from test administration last year is there are no more seal codes. The test administrator is responsible for unlocking each section before the students can begin that day's testing. At this point, students in your session can sign into TestNav, but they will not be able to start any of the units for grade 7 math until you unlock one of those units. This is a good time to make sure all of your students have successfully signed in before unlocking that day's unit. Students who sign in at this point will be able to see all available units for that particular session, but they will not be able to begin a unit until you've unlocked it from your Pearson Access Next. Once your students have successfully signed into TestNav, you can unlock that day's unit in one of two ways. You can either click and drag the little toggle switch, or you can click the area just to the right of the toggle switch. Whichever you choose, Unit 1 is now unlocked for your students. You can instruct your student to click the refresh button in TestNav. The unit you have just unlocked should now appear with a blue start button that students can click to enter the test unit. As students are working their way through the unit, you can monitor their progress in Pearson Access Next. You'll have to use the refresh button to continually update the student's progress. This page will not update itself and it will not auto-refresh. PARCC veterans will recognize the color codes: gray for students who have not yet started the unit, green for active test takers, red for students who have exited the test, orange for students whose tests have been resumed by a test administrator, and blue for students who have marked a unit complete. At this point, we should go over what to do if a student is absent for a particular unit. For example, we are giving Unit 1 of the Grade 7 Math Assessment. Sherlock Holmes is not in school today. We scroll down to his name on the list. Next to Ready, we click the little down arrow and we lock that section. This prevents that student's password from working for Unit 1 and allows the other students to continue working on that day's unit. If one of your students exits the test due to a technical malfunction or any other reason, you will need to resume the test as the test administrator before they can sign back in and continue that unit. Here I have a student in exited status who would like to continue working on that unit of the test. I simply find their name from my list, click the down arrow next to exited status, and choose Resume. That student will now have an orange resume status. They can click the refresh button in TestNav, at which point they should be presented with the option to resume that unit of the test. The test administrator can confirm this by refreshing the status of the page and confirming that the student is now in active status. While your students are working, you can click on the status of any individual student to check their progress on that unit of the test. This will show you which questions the student has answered, which questions they still need to answer, and even which questions they've seen but not answered yet. Once the unit is complete, you should lock the unit before exiting PearsonAccessNext. Do not stop the session. I will do that for you. Congratulations! You've now seen everything you'll need to know to administer the PARCC test in 2016. If something comes up that wasn't addressed here, please call your friendly tech coordinator.